Suavemente, besame. I'm hot. I look good. I'm just gonna all the time. Bullshit. Whatever that crap. I hate now, that. If you're just sitting at home, twiddling D, twiddle
Yes.
da type of thing,
Ex-
dinner better be ready when I get the fuck home. Two guys from two worlds. This is the flip side. New episodes is uploaded on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify every week on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Now, your hosts, Jay and Noel. Boom. Recording in progress. Good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the flip side with Jay and Noel. It is Wednesday, the 26th of April at 7:50 p.m. and it is 7:50 a.m. tomorrow morning, where our guest host is actually staying at in the Philippines. Say hi.
Hi.
This is
I'm in
Celeste.
Baguio City.
Yes, in Baguio City, and she is cousins with Noel. Cousins?
Yes.
First cousins, second cousins?
First cousins, so our moms are sisters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I was adopted when I was 6 weeks old.
Oh, you were adopted. I did not know
Yeah.
that. I can
Yeah, it's
see
pretty
that
cool.
now because Noel is so light skinned.
Yeah, right?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Um, for you guys wondering, Noel is in sabbatical. No, I'm just kidding. He's actually out and about doing some stuff that he couldn't get away from. And it's requiring him to travel quite a bit. So we graciously asked Celeste, can I call you Celeste? Is that okay? Or do you prefer
Yep.
Tan?
No, I prefer Celeste.
Okay. Celeste is has graciously agreed to fill in for Noel. So welcome. What's going on?
What's going on?
What you been up to?
Early morning, having my coffee. I've just been up to, gaming, doing a lot of business stuff, finishing up
Business stuff?
requirements. Yeah, business stuff.
Like what kind
Lots
of
of
business?
red tape. So I have a family corporation, then I have a restaurant corporation, and then I am renting out a part of my house to a wedding boutique. So that's cool.
So is that your
Those are
house,
the
your
two
house,
things.
or what? So you live
Yes.
there by yourself or with renters? Is that what it is?
With my brother and my god sister,
Oh,
who's
nice.
renting a room. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I wish I had something like that, but I can't do that here because it's too expensive to live here. How is it in Baguio to rent things though? Is it like expensive to rent in Baguio
Um,
and cost of
it
living wise?
did, yeah, well, it did go up because of pandemic and inflation and stuff like that. But
Right.
compared to Manila, um, it is more affordable and it's more comfortable because it's
Yeah.
cool. It's California weather. Um, it's not like 24/7, 35 degrees, so
Right.
that's
Right.
good. But it is minimum wage here. So
What is the
minimum
minimum
wage
wage?
here is 450 a day,
What?
450 pesos a day. That's what minimum wage makers make.
Is that good in comparison to like Manila or what?
Manila is about 500 to 600, I think 550, maybe 580 a day.
450 pesos a day.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, it's hard for me to imagine because I'm always thinking in dollars, right?
Yeah. So that
So
is
if 450, that's what, $5 maybe? Is that right? More or less? Two,
eight. Yeah,
four,
eight
six,
dollars.
eight, about $9.
Yeah.
Now,
For one day for
for
8 hours.
so it is an 8 hour shift.
Hmm.
And 450, like just say that's in Baguio, but in Manila you did say it's about what, 600 pesos. Is that
Hmm.
enough really to like live though? I
No,
mean,
no,
Jesus.
because one, food produce like, vegetables and meat,
Right.
um, the prices went up.
Oh,
And then your cost of living, like renting and electricity, your utilities, it also went up. But
right.
the only ones that stayed is minimum wage.
Oh, that
So
sucks.
yeah.
So it's about roughly about 22 something a week, which let's just say that's about what? 10 grand a month, maybe 9, 10 grand a month.
Yep, yep.
And like, how much does it cost to rent a one bedroom apartment in Baguio?
Mm, one bedroom, probably 25,000 a
Really?
month. Yeah.
25,000.
Yeah. If that's a nice house or a nice
No,
unit.
like, let's just say like an
Um,
average apartment, like, one bedroom or a studio with a kitchen, bathroom.
because there are like not nice ones and there's nice ones. There's no in between.
so, so it's either a crappy one or a nice one. But what about, so a lot of people rent bedrooms, right?
Yes. So those are transient bedrooms or like bed spacers, for example. And that's probably like 5,000, 3,000 to
Jesus
5,000 per month.
Christ, a month?
Yeah, and that's cheap for rent. But then if you're only making minimum wage,
Right.
that's like half your income.
Jesus, that sucks. I mean, that's really rough. Well, I mean, then again, I mean, it's probably okay if you're single in the Philippines where, you're not, don't have a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, that's
So,
why a lot of call center work is, enticing to most Filipinos because you earn more rather
really?
than earn wage. Yeah, because it's like minimum for a call center is about 35 to 45,000 a month.
Whoa, that's triple,
Yeah.
quadruple. That's
Yeah,
you,
exactly. So,
did you know that Noel worked at a call center?
yeah, I did too.
Oh, did you? Which one did you work for?
Yeah. It was called Stellar Philippines, and it was a captioning agency, and then it got taken over by robots. So
Oh, wow. We had an episode where um I was bitching about call centers and whatnot. And we were talking about
yeah,
Noel's call center experience because every time I call my credit card companies like Capital One and American Express,
yeah.
holy crap. I'm not even kidding you. In the background, you can hear, ate, kumain ka na. I'm like, are you kidding me? Can you not hit mute or something,
Yeah, yeah.
And there,
Well, for me, my call center wasn't my job wasn't to speak to anyone.
okay,
Um, we were captioners. So like if you and your wife are talking on the phone and one of you's hard of hearing,
right.
like for example, your wife was hard of hearing and she's talking to you, she'd have a phone that would show your captions on her device so that she can hear and read what you're saying. So like subtitles in a movie
So, so that you guys are transcribing it.
by voice.
That's
So
a
we weren't
lot of,
typing it. It's skilled work, man.
so while they're speaking, you're typing.
Oh no, I froze. Speaking. So you're talking, I'm
Yeah.
repeating exactly what you're saying into the computer program, and it comes out as typed
Yeah.
words.
Okay. That's a lot of details that you got to pay attention to.
Yep,
Did you ever
yep.
get like people that are cussing and whatnot that you
Oh
have to
yeah. I've
translate it?
gotten super interesting calls, like from sex calls to angry calls to threatening calls.
Yeah, yeah.
911 calls we also have to take. So it's
Really?
pretty cool. Yeah.
Hold on. So these are American companies, American calls that's being transcribed?
Yes.
makes me wonder if one of my calls ever got transcribed. That'd be so interesting.
Yeah. If you ever know like anyone who's hard of hearing,
Yeah,
they probably had the program on
that's
their phones
crazy.
and
Yeah, I remember when I was working in the hotel industry, we had a lot of clients that are like that. So we'd be
yeah.
talking to a lot of it. But that's so funny. Can you imagine if you're like listening to a conversation and they're talking about their one night stand experience
Yep.
and then
Oh
you have to
yeah. I've
transcribe
had
that?
that.
Oh, did
I
you
have
really?
had that. Yes. I've had where it was an old man I was having to caption, and he was talking about, seducing his partner or girlfriend or whatever,
Oh
and like
my
what he would
gosh.
do like step by step. And the cool thing is, before when like in 2017, I think, um whenever we get like these sexy calls, we'd talk louder so that everyone could hear what we're saying.
Is
That
it
was so funny.
recorded though? Like the supervisors recorded or
No,
no?
it's not recorded for a long time. It's recorded, well, no, it's real time, being listened to by the quality control people.
Right.
So the QAs, quality something, forgot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so that they can check if you're saying it right because they have to check your accuracy,
Right.
and then you get like scored after each call.
Right. That'd be pretty
And
interesting
yeah,
though. What if like so what if they're like cheating and whatnot, right? Or then and then you have to transcribe it or they do something against the law. Are you bound to report it?
no, we're invisible. We were basically not there. They don't know that we're actual humans.
That's crazy. See, I'd be scared to deal with something like that. But the
Yeah.
conversation that I had with Noel, because every time I have a conversation with these call centers or when I have to call customer service, right, especially with Capital One, there's always an issue, and the verification process is so long. I don't know what they'll ask for your address and then your phone number and date of birth and then the last four of your social, and then they'll pass you over to or transfer you over to another guy, and then you have to do the whole process again.
I lost you.
Oh, you there? Hello,
Yeah, did I
hello.
freeze?
Now,
Oh, oh, okay.
can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Verification process. Yeah. Verification process was so long.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
then,
yeah. So it takes long where even after transferring me over to the next person, I would have to go through the whole ordeal again. And it was annoying. Yeah.
yep, yep, yep.
So,
Yeah.
and a lot of times I've always had bad luck in regards to that because see, I'm going to sound mean here. Okay. These, operators that I talk to, their accents are always bad for some reason. So I have a hard time understanding it. And so I get a little bit aggravated. And I think they put me on hold on purpose, you know, like, oh, hold on, sir, let me transfer you over. Or just hold on 1 second, please. And then they put me on hold for like 10 minutes. And I swear, I think they do it on purpose, you know. And then,
Yeah.
and then the next day, Noel sends me a picture um, that him and his Christine went to a Capital One building and took a picture of it just to piss me off, I guess. That was
Oh my
kind of
God.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah. What did Noel say about that? Like, um, those, you know,
His
putting
experience,
people on hold. Yeah, putting people on hold.
he kind of thinks that they do it, but he's not really sure since he's never really done it. But he said he didn't really work there long enough. Like
Mm,
he went through this is what I don't understand too. When he told me this story, he said that he went through the entire training process, right? And then after
mm.
the first day, he quits. Yeah. so he go so he goes through like 2 months of training. And then after training, like the first real on the clock job, after doing it, he quits.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, he got paid during the
Oh
training
well.
period, so but I was like, what the hell well, why would you just quit like that? It doesn't make sense. Yeah. So
Yeah.
one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, I don't know if you had um the opportunity to watch a couple of clips,
Yep.
is this whole discussion about passport bros. A little backstory. Now, Noel, first of all, he calls it bang bros.
Yep.
And then um we just had a conversation about it, about how these women um are all American women specifically here are just getting so mad about all these men that are going overseas trying to find um I guess their wives, their mates, so to
Mhm.
speak, you know? So what do you think?
Well, we used to call them, I don't know, my generation used to call them DOMs, dirty
DOMs?
old men,
Oh, jeez. Okay.
because because growing up, I would see these older white men with younger Filipino women who
Right.
also, had a difficult time speaking English or were very, um, what's the word? Trying not to be not PC, but like weren't, they don't speak English really well.
Right, right.
Um, so like that was always like the stigma, I guess. Like,
Right.
oh, it's a dirty old man with a young Filipino wife.
That's just trying to get a young
It's just
wife.
yes.
Yeah.
But now it's younger men
Right.
looking for, based on the clips that I, you know, researched. It's younger successful
Generation.
men who are looking for, yeah, who are looking for um wives
Right.
basically. But the word that I didn't like is the traditional wife, that they go abroad to find a traditional wife. What does traditional wife mean?
Excuse me. Excuse me. Um, I don't think they meant it like in a whole traditional women type of thing, you know? I think
Okay.
it's just a whole ideal of, well, let's be honest, most women that's outside of the US are more caring, or people that actually take care of their men type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then who's to say that? See, a lot of these women that were saying that, oh, you're taking away my freedom, you're taking away my ability to expand my career, yada yada yada. No, nobody's doing that.
Mhm.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
a traditional woman, like for example, in relation to the Philippines, right? The
Yep.
reality thing of it is, we women in the Philippines, you guys work, you're career
Yep.
oriented, you're family oriented, and you take
Hmm.
care of your men. That's just
Hmm.
facts. You know, I mean,
Yep.
what's your
Yep.
take on that? Like, what do you mean? Like, how do you see it? Like, why don't you like the idea when they say traditional?
I don't know. Traditional to me goes back to like in the 1920s to the 1950s, where um men tell women, "Oh, just you're only allowed to stay home and clean the house and have my food ready by the time I get home."
Right,
Like it's these demands that men had put on women
right.
that I don't agree with. So maybe it's not what they're looking for in that aspect where they're trying to control women again,
Hmm.
but it is, to me, I think it's important to, be supportive of each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And at the end of the day, like these passport bros, if they're genuinely looking for a genuine connection, then they'll find that wherever they go. But it's also about compatibility, diba? Like
Right. But I think you're missing the point here. Most of these men,
what?
so I think you're missing the point. Most of these men
Okay.
are always dealing with women who are just so strong, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But the
Yeah.
problem with that is these women tend to lose. lose time or effort in regards to paying attention to their men, taking care of their men.
Mm-hmm.
You sit there, you question the word traditional, but I
Mm-hmm.
bet that if you have your guy with you, you'd be working, you'd be cooking for him, you'd be paying attention to him, and you'd probably be enjoying a lot of things together. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if he's working and he's there when he wakes up in the morning, I bet most of the time you'll probably have at least coffee ready.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
so
mean,
in a sense, you are kind of a traditional woman. It's just a little bit more modernized, as much as you don't want
yeah.
to look at it that way.
Oh, okay. But it's not like the man's not demanding that, right?
No, that's the thing there. That's
Okay.
what you don't. I don't think you get that. We're not demanding that because, listen, us men, so we would work without being told to work. You know, most of the time we'll take care of the cars, take out the trash. Most of the time, honestly, we'll do things without being told to do it because traditionally we are built that way. The fact of the matter is, are you gonna go take your car for an oil change or do the oil change to your car? No.
Me? No, I'm gonna hire somebody to do it
Right. That's what
for
I'm
me.
saying. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying that I'm gonna do it, but at least I'm gonna go get it done. Right.
Oh, that's so sweet.
For the
Well, I've
most part.
I've been in relationships where men did not do anything for anything.
Shut
They were
up.
lazy fucks. I'm
See,
not kidding.
I'm not saying I'm a perfect guy, but I take care of most of the groceries. I do that most of the time. Um, I do almost all the maintenance that needs to be done in the house. You know, I go take my car, my wife's car, or even my son's car for an oil change for them. You know, if need be, because it's a partnership. You're supposed to do your part to take care of each other. But there are
Hmm.
certain things that men traditionally will do because women traditionally won't be able to do. And women, and just to go back, men just do that in spite it's besides the fact that they still have to go to work. You know,
Yep.
women nobody ever said don't work, but men here will go out of their way, like for example in the Philippines, because most women are actually, see, it's gonna sound horrible, programmed to take care of stuff, like cook, attend to your husband, your kids, clean, do laundry. A lot of Filipino women are just automatically like that, even though or whilst they are still handling their business or careers.
Hmm.
It's hard to find that here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was in a
I get
relationship
that.
for, I've only dated maybe two and a half Filipino women in my life. Okay. The half being half, like half Filipino, half Australian. That didn't really count. So maybe just two. But the first Filipino woman I've been with, I was with her for maybe almost 12 years. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a long time. I spent most of my 20s with her.
Okay.
She's a great person. Great person. But once she graduated college, the career just took over everything. And even during college, when she was going to school, I pretty much took care of everything just so that she could concentrate in school and get her, like the laundry, the groceries, the cooking, everything, the cleaning. I took care of everything so that she could do that. But as soon as her career took off, I kind of ended up taking a back seat to it,
Okay.
which eventually led to the demise of the relationship. I did some stuff and whatnot, and it was it was bad. You know, basically I ended up searching something else somewhere else.
Hmm. Hmm.
The second Filipino I ended up marrying, I ended up marrying, and she's a traditional woman where she has a career, but at the same time, she's still taking care of everything that needs to be done. Food's cooked, laundry's done and folded and whatnot. I mean, as long as I have underwear in my drawers, damn man, it's golden, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. To me, I think I personally would like an equality of like chores.
Yeah,
Because one, I hate
absolutely.
doing chores. Like I like vacuuming the floor, but washing the dishes,
Right.
I can't handle.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's nothing
what
wrong with that.
else? Doing laundry probably can as long as I have a dryer and I'm
Right.
not gonna hang wet
Hang.
clothes.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, what else? Yeah, I mean, with the cooking thing, I wouldn't mind if the guy cooks for me also, like
Hmm.
both ways. Because like I've
Hmm.
dated guys um in the past who have zero clue how to cook.
Oh, that
And it
sucks.
was so frustrating to me because sometimes, you want to be treated like a queen and
Yeah,
sometimes
absolutely.
you want breakfast in bed and you're just like you're PMSing or in pain and you want, all the nice things
Right.
that your man can provide, but the ones I've dated couldn't do anything.
Oh, that
Like
sucks.
they they'd always have like maids or whatever to do it for them. So
Maids?
it's like, yeah, so they couldn't do it themselves.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
But for me though, I've also found that when I date like Filipino guys, like if I go on dates and stuff, like the I don't know how to say it, like Filipino born Filipinos.
yeah,
Most of
the
them can't,
natives.
yeah, they can't, um, they're not in the same wavelength as I am because I guess I'm more open-minded about the whole world and then they
Right.
can't keep up with me. So I don't know, I just rather not, I can't date Filipino men in that aspect because they're not in the same wavelength. And I'm like
Right.
this weirdo person who's like out of place in every place they are.
I want to go back. I definitely want to get back to that because that's another subject that we can definitely talk about. But one thing I wanted to add on in regards to what you said earlier about women being labeled as traditional and these men are like kind of like being too picky about it and whatnot. But if you think about it,
Hmm.
a lot of the research that I saw in regards to these, especially these Americans that travel, for example, to the Philippines to find their traditional wives,
Hmm.
everything ends up being split. Chores, and chores, business, yada yada yada. And these guys are actually ending up willingly doing what needs to be done as well. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't think it's more of what the women's gonna do for them. It's more like maybe not dealing with the attitude too much. You know?
Yeah, I see that. I see that. My current my boyfriend's ex was also kind of like that, where very critical of how he was,
Right.
despite him being, supportive and
Right.
doing a lot for her.
Right.
Um, and she's New Zealand born, so
Ah.
that's also different. I don't know. I think if if you have a genuine connection, you're just gonna be, and you love the person, then do, you're
You're
gonna
not gonna
make
mind to
the
do
effort to
anything.
do
Yeah.
something.
You're
Yeah,
not
exactly. You're
you're
gonna
not
want to do it.
right, right. And
Yeah.
really no matter what it is that these people are considering that or thinking like, oh, this needs to be done, yada yada yada. If you look at it, whatever it is they're asking you to do, is it really that hard?
Hmm.
You know? A lot of the women here, they're like, do this, do that, yada yada yada. And then okay, then what are you supposed to do? "Oh, I'm hot. I look good. I'm just gonna all the time. Bullshit. Whatever that crap. I hate that. It
Yeah,
sucks.
I think it just boils down to like the quality of character in a person. Like if you're a decent human being, you're gonna understand like the other person's situation, and you're gonna
Right.
and it's gonna be both ways. Where if you have compassion and you're kind human beings, you're not gonna criticize them and blame them for
Mm.
shit that they can't or don't do, because you're gonna understand like why they can't do that, right?
Right.
Or like
Right.
if for example, if I'm working and I'm tired at the end of the day, my partner shouldn't expect me to still cook and clean after like a 12-hour shift, for
Right.
example,
Right. That's
right?
understandable.
Yeah, and vice versa. Like we should just be more understanding of each other.
Right. Now, if you're just sitting at home twiddling D, twiddle
Yes,
da type of thing, that
ex
dinner better be ready when I get the fuck home.
exactly. No, and that was my situation with one of my former boyfriends. We were living in Eastwood in Manila.
Mm.
I was the one working, and I was working graveyard shift.
Mm.
And so we agreed that okay, the guy would do the house chores and would cook and clean by the time I get home, which was at 7 in the morning. So I was working the entire night. So when I get
Mm.
home at 7 in the morning or eight in the morning, everything's still a mess, and like he's still sleeping in the bed, and like you had the whole night to yourself. It's like, what the
Man,
fuck were you doing?
right. He should have just freaking had breakfast ready, not coffee, at least breakfast is ready so that you can just eat and go to bed,
Yeah, exactly.
And when you wake up, dinner is ready. I mean, what the hell is he doing? He's living the life. He doesn't have to work. Oh man, that sucks.
Exactly.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I
So
can't
it
stand
was
that.
weird. So that's why I don't like that the word traditional, because he expected me to do that because I was the woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So even if I was working and I had a career and
but he's not
everything,
working.
exactly. He had
What did
no
he
job,
say?
he wasn't doing anything. He was like, um, I thought you would be the one to do it because you're the woman in the relationship. And I was like,
You're supposed to
what?
earn the money. You're the man in the relationship. Right?
Yeah,
Was he
yeah.
Filipino?
I, no, no, he was white.
What? He could have gotten a
Yep,
job easily just for the color of
yep,
his skin.
yep. It was super. I mean, I even like helped him try to figure out like what work options he could do and blah blah blah. But he was
Right.
like, "No, I'm too prideful for that," and it's
Oh
just
God.
yeah.
So going back to what you said, not in the same level.
Mm,
So it seems like you don't really date a lot of Filipino men.
mm-mm.
When was the
Um,
last time you dated a Filipino guy?
um, it was July or no, August to December
Last year?
last year, and he
So
was
why
the
don't
abusive one.
Oh, that sucks. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did it
he
just
was.
like leave like a bad taste?
Oh yeah, like completely bad. Like I thought my long-term boyfriend before, we
Hmm.
were together for 7 years. This other guy, let's just call him Jay. Just kidding. Um,
Is he from the States?
no, no, he's here. He's from here, but his family's half Spanish.
I see.
Yeah, and
Hold on. He's
he
from there, but it's a long distance relationship for
no,
seven
no, no,
years.
my long-term relationship.
Ah, long
So I was,
term.
let's call him Paulo.
Okay.
And um, we were together for 7 years, but he was cheating on me several times within those 7 years. And we would break up and get back together, break up and get back together. So
Right.
I thought that was like a pretty toxic relationship. I thought that was bad,
Right.
and how he neglected me and stuff.
Right.
But when I got into this other relationship with this other Filipino guy named, let's just say, Thomas.
So you give the
Um,
foreigner a Filipino name. You give I mean the Filipino name and the Filipino an American name. Okay, okay, all
no,
right.
no, the 7 year guy, Paolo,
It's
he's
Paolo.
Filipino. He's Filipino, but his family
Got
is
it.
half.
Half Spanish.
Yeah, yeah. The
And then
root,
Thomas is straight Filipino.
yes,
Okay.
straight Filipino, but super tall, 6'2".
Hmm.
Um, and in the beginning, he seemed really nice, like intelligent, really nice. Seemed like he was concerned about what people thought and like their feelings and stuff. And then when I got closer to him, there were these red flags that I kept trying to ignore because people kept saying, "Oh no, he's really a good person. You should
Right.
just understand that he's probably in a stressful situation." And I was like, "Okay, but I'm getting hurt." So like maybe he is in a stressful situation. I've never been in this kind of relationship before, so I didn't know what to look out for. I
Right.
just knew that I didn't feel good in the relationship.
Was it just the physical pain and physical like he physically hitting you?
No, he was verbally abusive.
Ah.
And like anything I would do, it would be my fault.
Oh
So
God.
a really good example would be like we're having dinner or lunch, and he's right across from me, and we're having conversation about moving furniture, and there's food on the table,
Hmm.
and I'm preparing it, setting it up, and he's saying, "Oh, let's move this cabinet over there." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure," and then pause, no conversation after that. So and then I say, "Oh, here, have some soup." And then boom, he gets mad at me. He yells at me and says, "You never listen to what I'm saying. You're not keeping the conversation going."
What?
And I'm like, "What? I just offered you soup. And
Right.
we had talked about, I agreed to move the cabinet."
Right.
And then we paused, and then I offered you soup. And he's like, "No, it's your ADHD that you're having problems with, and you can't concentrate on what I'm saying."
Right.
I was like, "I offered you soup." And I'm just like, "The fuck is wrong with you?"
No soup for you.
And that's like one tiny thing. And like there are these other scenarios where it's just even worse because he's really yelling at me and just making everything my fault. Another time was like he was fixing the shower curtain in the bathroom with a friend. Um, and I was in the kitchen, which is right beside the bathroom.
Right.
And I was on my phone talking to a contractor for the house in another property,
Right.
and he was fixing the curtain, and then he asked something. I thought he was talking to his friend, so I didn't say anything. And then he goes, "Hello," and then I was like, "Oh, sorry, I'm on my phone. I'm just talking to somebody." And then he storms out of the bathroom, yells at me, and he says, "Wag mo akong sungitan, ha?"
Oh my God.
Which is like, what's the word for sungit? Like,
Like, don't give me
don't,
attitude.
yeah, don't give me attitude. Like
Jeez.
yelling at me. And I'm like on my phone, I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I just told you I'm a little busy right now.
Right.
And
Right.
he just goes off and off and off and just yelling and yelling. And I'm like, "You know what? I can't take this right now. I'm gonna go leave
Hmm.
and cool off because you're being really horrible." And I go take off, and then he's blaming me for just leaving the conversation again. And it's like, it's not a conversation. You're yelling at me
Right.
and blaming me for something I didn't do. And then so those are the kinds of situations that I had to deal with him. I didn't feel safe.
Were you living with him?
um for a bit, yeah, about a few months. um I thought of renting out my space
Hmm.
to him, and which I did, but then like from
Oh, this is the
yeah,
guy
five
that what?
months
This
he
is the
wasn't
stalker
paying.
guy
No.
that was living next to you. You said. Was this the older guy or no?
Yes, this is a 48-year-old.
Oh my
But
god.
he wasn't a stalker. He was just refused to leave after I
Right.
ended things with him. And
Ah.
from September to January, he wasn't paying rent.
Oh shit. That sucks.
Yeah.
Was he
Yeah.
working?
Yes. He had an
Man.
online job.
What's
Yeah.
with what's with these kind of men that you're always attracting or you're attracted to? What's going on?
I don't know. Well, I hope it's the end of it because the guy that I'm with now is very caring and just
Mm.
um sweet and
Is is
kind and
is
just
this your first long distance relationship?
yes, my first long distance relationship and it's like the healthiest relationship I've ever had because we're about 4 months in and he's like he's never yelled at me, he's never gotten mad at me and like
I don't even see how that works still because it's hard to really go into a full blown argument about something if you're not physically there. You know what I mean? Am I
yeah,
making
I
sense?
know, but we've never had an argument though. That's the thing because
How often do you
he
talk?
he every day and
Like,
he updates me um every time he's somewhere else or something and he calls me and we talk on the phone every
mhm,
day
mhm.
so it's like it's pretty routine
Really?
and he doesn't go out, he doesn't drink, um all he does is like sports and work
She, how old is this
and video
guy?
games.
Oh,
36.
36. He's from New Zealand.
Yeah,
He doesn't go out. He doesn't drink.
yeah, like go out to like drink
But he
or party.
drinks.
No, he doesn't drink anymore since January.
Hmm. Interesting. I wanna meet
Yeah,
this guy, man. Fuck.
yeah, I know. So cool.
So it's been 4 months. So it's been 4 months, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then but don't you I don't know. I'm still a little skeptical about the whole I mean I've tried long distance relationship once. Okay. It was rough. And even at that time, I flew back and forth like 3, 4 times, and she flew back and forth like twice. That was like maybe in the
Hmm.
span of what, 5 months, maybe. And
Hmm.
it's not like it's from Philippines to the US. It's basically from Florida to California, you know? It's a lot it's cheaper to fly and it's closer.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say about 4 months, maybe the whole thing lasted. And it was just too tough for me, you know? It's hard. Even
Yeah,
though you can talk to somebody and call them all the time, it's really hard if you're not able to have that physical touch, you know, or even
yes.
to go out on a normal date. Don't you want that though?
Yeah, yeah. I do. I mean, it's still there. I still want those things. And I mean, that's our goal is
Mm,
to be able to, end up in that situation. Um, but I think what what makes a long distance relationship work is that you get into it with the mindset that you want it to work. You know what I mean?
like there's an end
Like,
goal.
yeah, there's an end goal and that you are committed to reaching that goal. So you're doing the steps to get there.
Right. Right.
Yeah. It's not a wishy-washy thing
But
where it's like,
usually that usually is the setup point once you've actually met each other in person. Like for example, if I'm walking around what's that, BGC or whatever, and I run into
mhm,
you and then we kind of hit it off and then we go on a date for a couple of days that I'm there, yada yada yada. And then I have to leave. And then we
mhm.
decide to start a long distance relationship, then that would be the time to set up an end game type of thing, you know, like, oh, I see you in 5 months, and then we do the work. Not
Yeah.
like start from the middle without having to met each other personally yet. That's just too rough. That's too tight.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the risky part. And there have been like a lot of situations where, you're catfished
Right.
or
Have
turns
you
out
ever?
the guys or the girls with scammer. No, because I've this is the first time I've been serious about um the person that I matched with on Tinder.
Oh shit, you matched with him on Tinder?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I got on Tinder after I ended it with the psycho. And
Like Tinder worldwide or Tinder Philippines?
I was on Tinder Philippines and he was on Tinder Premier, which you can swipe in different countries that you choose. So he was
Ah,
swiping
I did not know that.
in the Philippines. Yeah,
But
you can get that.
but isn't Tinder just a hookup site?
I mean, it really depends on the person because I know friends who met their partner either on Bumble or Tinder, and they're both hookup sites, and
Right.
then they end up, in a long-term committed relationship or they get married. And I think
Wow.
again, it just boils down to compatibility and like if your goals, lifestyle, and
Right.
there's a third one that's supposed to align. If those three align, then you're good to go as a
Yeah.
couple.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't be knocking it because I met my wife on a dating site too.
Oh,
Yeah. Have you ever heard of OK Cupid?
yes.
Yeah.
We have
So
that here too. Yeah.
so back then, so after my long over 10-year relationship, I kind of went on like a 3-year binge
Hmm.
where I went out, I partied,
You hoed out.
yeah, some couple of randos here and there and whatnot. And
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking about looking for a long-term relationship. So I saw her, I was like on OK Cupid, trying to like find whatever. So I saw her and I messaged her and she didn't reply back for like almost 2 weeks.
Ooh.
All of a sudden I see a message on my OK Cupid like notification. And then that was that basically. I was like, okay, what's the deal with that? 2 weeks later, almost 2 weeks later, and she actually thought I was Hispanic. You know,
Oh,
well, I mean, I don't really look like your typical Filipino, though. That's the thing, especially over here.
really?
You think I look like a Filipino?
Yeah, you have the eyes.
Well, yeah. Um, but yeah, most people, I rarely get Asian over here. I'm either half Hispanic and half something, or half black and half Hispanic or something, or
Okay, you could be, yeah,
yeah,
I
and
get it.
I don't know, but Filipino, like straight Filipino, rarely. Like I said, that the other day when we were talking, I don't know if I talked to you about that. We were talking about those two ladies at Walmart. Yeah,
Hmm.
they thought I was Hispanic. I'm like, come on, man, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I got a Filipino tattoo right here. How can you not know? It's like walking around with a t-shirt on. So we
Yeah,
were talking
the map.
about basically my wife and I how we met and whatnot. Yeah, she wasn't your traditional Filipino girl, I'll tell you that much. Like she barely cooked back then, but now, yummy, good cook, love it. I actually gained most of my weight now that I'm trying to get rid of since she started cooking years ago. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so here, I think you guys over there are using Tinder the wrong way. or, or
What do you mean?
I mean, Tinder is for hooking up, man. You swipe
Yeah, I know.
left or right, and then you just like wham bam, thank you, ma'am, type of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I tried that out in 2015. Like the first time I tried Tinder is when I was newly single after a 7 year relationship. And
Hmm.
then I was scared, man. There's this guy that was asking me to go to his hotel, and I was like, what if I get fucking murdered
As opposed to where though? Where if you guys meet up, where are you
in
guys supposed to?
public?
Oh, you mean meet up first and then go to the hotel? Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
see
yeah,
how things go, and then yeah. But once I got more comfortable with it and like how to use Tinder, then yes, I used it as a hookup app. And
right.
then for some reason, well, and then I hated it for a while. Like from 2020 to 2023, I wasn't using it because it sucked. I hated it. And like having to converse with people and, getting to know them again. And then, there's like this, you kind of like talk to several people in the app at once.
Yeah, but doesn't that defeat the purpose though? Literally, Tinder was made to meet up, and then that's it. You don't need to communicate with each other anymore.
Yeah, well, the ones that I would match with, I just wanted to know them. Like I just wanted to know them before I would just
Hmm.
meet up and hook up with them because I was scared. I didn't want to get murdered.
Jesus, I mean, that's like really dark to think about something.
But it happens. And then you get swindled. Have you heard about the Tinder swindler?
The what?
The Tinder swindler.
Tinder swindler.
Yeah,
No,
it's on Netflix. Okay, you
elaborate.
have to watch that. So there's this guy who looks like he's from this super rich diamond industry family. And
Okay.
then he charms women, makes it out like he's like the Prince Charming and he's rich and whatever. And then he makes a scenario where he's like, "Oh, the this gang is after me and they're trying to hurt me and everything. I just need this amount of money to give to them so that they would stop." And he would ask these women for it. And these women,
And the women are giving it up.
obviously, yeah, because they're like blinded by his charm and how sweet he was. They're like, "Of course, we don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah.
We'll give you this money, whatever you need, you
Was
know."
he good
And
looking at
then
least?
eh, decent looking, like not like super hot or super
Right.
ugly.
Right.
Um, but yeah, he would post like these photos of himself like in these fancy clubs or on this yacht to make it out like he's this really rich guy who is being chased by these mob groups or something.
Right.
And then, he would uh really steal money from these women and then all of a sudden disappear and just keep their money. It's on Netflix. You have to watch it.
I'm gonna have to watch that one. That Tinder swindler. Interesting.
Yeah,
It's kind of like
yeah.
so. I don't know what it is. And what was I trying to say? Oh, so Tinder here is like I said. We all know that Tinder here is like really hookup placed, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of people here wouldn't think that in the Philippines that kind of stuff happens as often where women do hook up with men a lot. That's actually pretty ongoing thing in the Philippines, right? It happens more so than not.
I think so, yeah. But it's mostly from like, going out to clubs and then you meet a guy and go home together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's in the rear view, I hope.
yeah. For me? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I I haven't partied since 2019 and I've completely quit because one, I don't like crowds anymore. I
Right,
don't drink anymore.
right.
Um, so yeah, I'm basically just staying home and
I think that comes with
that's it.
age though, Like I have to I do remember when I was in my late 30s, it's like everything just dropped. I
Yeah.
can't stand going to bars anymore. I'll still no, I haven't gone in a while. I'll be honest with you. But I can't stand it anymore because it's too crowded. People just annoy the shit
Hmm.
out of me. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And for that's just me though, because my train of thought is some of these people are just stupid. I
Yeah,
don't get it.
same,
Yeah.
same.
I don't get
I'm
it.
the same.
And I end up
And yeah.
just sitting there making fun of them. And I hate going to crowded places now. And it's such a huge difference because we're talking about where I came from before I met my wife, like almost 3 years of like going to Vegas, Mexico, drinking. No, I didn't go to Mexico. I take it back. We're going to Vegas, New York, Miami, and just partying and drinking, going to strip club and whatever. And
Hmm.
now that I'm older and after all that, the funny thing is, you would think I'd be thinking about those heydays. Now, what I'm thinking about is all the money I wasted spending on that crap. It was so
Yep.
stupid.
Yep.
I remember I went
Yeah.
to Vegas for a weekend. I left on a Friday, came back on a Sunday. Okay, two nights. Las Vegas. Barely slept to begin with. I think I spent like close to like $14,000. It's so stupid. And that's back in the days when I had some money, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, going back to okay, Cupid, like, so
Oh
your
yeah.
wife finally messaged you.
Yeah. So sorry. Sorry. So she finally messaged me, right? And I was like a little taken aback, meaning like it took you so long to message me back. Really?
Mhm.
Does that mean it's either one, you had a lot of messages from other people, or two, you were trying to like figure out if you should even consider going out with me? She didn't think I was Filipino, or Asian. She thought I was Mexican or something. You
Mhm.
know, which was kind of funny. So I was like, all right, whatever. I asked her out to go on a date. I take her to my local bar. It's not that far from here, actually. Now, this bar, when I say my local bar, like I had a bar tab for like every week I paid off. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
kn-
yeah.
I knew the bartender and I kind of knew people. Um,
Yeah. And they
just
knew you.
yeah, so it kind of like makes me look good in a way, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
don't
get
even
it.
think I
Yeah.
spent a penny at that bar that night because my friends, the bartenders, were like, "Oh, it's okay, it's on the house, yada yada yada," type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I pulled the I pulled the I don't speak Filipino to her. I pret-
Okay.
I pretended like, oh, I don't really speak Tagalog that much, you know, yada yada yada, whatever, you know. But she's pure Filipino, obviously. And
Yeah.
it was interesting. It was a good first date. It was one of those rarities where you actually had a good conversation, right? And
Hmm.
I was like this guy trying to be cool, knowing the bartender, getting a free drinks, yada yada. And towards the end of the night, I'm like, "You want to go for a walk?" So just you know, cool it off, going for a long walk, having a conversation, yada yada yada, and it was good. It was good. And then she drops the bomb on me that she's got two kids. I'm like, yeah, I, out of nowhere, I was like, well, but it never really bothered me though, you know, and it's still obviously it doesn't bother me because I'm married for crying out loud.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
10 years. We
Wow,
we
10
met
years ago.
2013. Okay. And then we got
Wow.
married 2016.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah. And we got married on Valentine's Day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
It's
do you
it's
believe that relationships have a cap? Like, if you're not married by the fourth or fifth year, you're never gonna get married?
no. No, I don't believe in that at all.
Okay.
Because um I believe in the meaning and the sanctity of marriage
Okay.
that if this doesn't work out, I'm probably never gonna get married again.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Then again, a
Yeah.
lot of people say that and then they turn around. But as of right now, I believe that if for some reason this doesn't work out, which I don't see that
Yeah.
happening,
Yeah.
maybe, um, I'm probably never gonna get married again, you know? Because I only want to
Yeah.
get married once in my life, at least. You know, my dad was married
Okay.
like three times or four times, whatever. Um, and no, I don't believe that there's a cap on a relationship
Okay.
because if you guys want to get married, then get married. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. But what if one of them wants to get married and the other doesn't?
Okay. Well, if there's no bottom line where you're not gonna get married eventually, Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's not worth it. I mean, it is worth it, but I don't know. See, that's a tricky line there because what if what you have, the relationship is so good that your commitment towards each
Mm-hmm.
other is so solid that
Yep. Yep.
why get married?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, why ruin
That's
it?
so,
If
yeah.
if he doesn't want it, and but you do, and but the dynamic is great, you know. But then
Yep.
again,
Yep.
maybe the idea of getting married to some people is like a meaning of the end, meaning like that's it.
Yeah.
You know, like
So,
one woman, one man for the rest of your life.
yeah. Well, for me, I always had that perception of marriage where um I had it written down. Wait, let me go back to it. But I always thought of like marriage as something irrelevant.
Irrelevant?
If yeah, irrelevant if the relationship and the commitment was like what you said, where it's like really, really good, and what's the point of getting married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is what I wrote as my theory on marriage. Let me open it up.
This should be good.
Okay. So, what if marriage was done after you've experienced all the relationship phases? I meaning instead of dating, steady relationship, engagement, and marriage, then children, and then raising children, and then retirement, or however the timeline's supposed to go. What if it
Right.
was dating, steady relationship, living in, children, raising children, retirement, and then marriage? Because
Flipping the
my,
script.
yeah, because my perception of that is like, what if it's a celebratory affirmation of your relationship withstanding all of those milestones? And it's like, hey, now we're going to get married to celebrate the successful milestones that we've been through together. So that was my
Hmm.
um, thing. Instead of marriage in the beginning and
Yeah.
then all those milestones.
Right. Right. But see, I mean, I see what you're saying. Okay. My contention to that is I believe that marriage is a sanctity or not an agreement. I apologize for saying that and comparing that word even, but it's a marriage is the absolute meaning and that you are willing and wanting to spend the rest of your life to get to know this person, and you're committed to that because do we really completely know each other or a person no matter how long we stay with each other? Who knows, right? I've been married to my wife for 7 years, but we've been together 10 years. Do I know her completely? Does she know me completely? No. Me and her can agree that we don't know each other completely. It might take me my entire lifetime to get to know her. And that's one thing that you go into in a marriage wanting to do that, you know? And looking at it and using marriage as a celebratory occasion for all your life um I guess part big life moments and whatnot, man, it could work, you know, that way. I just don't do it that I can't look at it that way. I look at marriage as a symbol of your commitment towards each other, you know. I could be everybody's different.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I believe that. I believe that too. Um, I I believe in the whole marriage concept, not the wedding,
Mm-hmm.
because from what I've observed, weddings are always about like the bride. It's always never about the groom.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
it's supposed to be about together.
I know, But then most of the weddings I've seen is like it's always the bride that's the center of attention, like what
Hmm.
dress she's gonna wear and
Right.
what flowers she wants in the wedding, like what songs and everything. When it should be like it's a marriage, so it's two beings coming together for a lifetime commitment.
Right. Right.
Um, but I've seen a lot of weddings where it was very, very superficial. So for me, I don't want to have a wedding. I
Yeah.
just want to get married.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, my wife and I got married at a small chapel where there was literally like maybe 20 people, family, all
Yeah.
family, But it's weddings nowadays have gotten to be so socialized, and I hate it. It's yes, you're right. It's gotten to be consistent with the idea of it's all about the bride because it's her day, but
Yeah, right?
it's also gotten to be about the guests. It's all for the guests, the big party, the delicious food, yada yada yada, right? I can't stand it. It's gotten to be so marketable and it's annoying. What
Yeah, and
happened?
then the cost of it
Oh
is
my
insane.
God. Can you So I was engaged to this one girl, the one I was with for a long time, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it got to a point where we did the whole wedding planning a little bit. We started to at least. And
Okay.
it was like at least at the minimum at that time. This was about what, 14 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe. It was probably I mean, at that time it was about between 18 to $23,000 is what we were budgeting at that time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. $1,000, 18 to $23,000. That was back then. Now it's even gotten ridiculous. It's even more. Um, but that's a whole different story. I mean, I proposed to her 3 times for crying out loud. Yeah, I got shut down the first 2 times. And then the third one finally like jackpot,
Yeah.
which was a bad idea. But now my wedding with my wife, it was about 20 people maybe. And it was just at a small chapel down the street. And then we just had a reception at a restaurant. Although eventually I would like to have like a big party for her. Like maybe when we renew our vows.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we've been together really 10 years now. I have to admit, feels like we've been together for like 25 years
Wow.
in a good
It's
way.
like old souls, old
Yeah,
souls.
in a good way though, in a very good way. That they say that time you get annoyed with each other, yada yada yada. But I tell my wife the mere fact that she still annoys me signifies that I still care. Once it
Okay.
gets to a point where I don't care anymore, like I don't get annoyed, yada yada yada, I'm not interested, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's sad. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when it's like
That's when
dead.
everything fiddles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you gotten close to anything like that? Maybe getting engaged? I mean, you were with somebody for like 7 years, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I wanted to marry the guy. He didn't. So, I mean, the reason we broke up wasn't just because of the infidelity, but it was also that, oh, he told me, oh, I don't see myself marrying you. And I was like, we don't have to get married just because all our friends are getting married. And he's like, no, I just don't see myself with you in the future.
After 7 years
So,
together.
yeah. So
Oh my
I was
God.
heartbroken.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
sorry to
think
hear that.
it took me about 2 years to finally like really get over him.
Yeah, that's a lot of Tinder swiping.
Yeah, and that's why it was like really tiring and just
Yeah.
annoying already.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah. But do you ever like have like this conversation? Because I heard that when you're in a long-term relationship or in a marriage, that you have like these couple checkups where you check up on each other and be like, hey, do you still see yourself with me in the next 5 years?
Hmm.
And then it's like every 5 years, you'd go back to each other and check up on each other and be like, instead of just going with the flow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she constantly does that. I mean, not constantly, but she does it here and there, you know. Do I do it?
Yeah.
No, unfortunately, I don't. I don't see the need to do that because I mean, I'm here. I love her, you know. She's my
Yeah.
wife. Um, and the way we reaffirm that is the way we always build our conversation. I mean, like our communication, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
As time goes on in any relationship, the first thing and one of the biggest thing that always goes is your communication. You know, sadly, it changes as time goes by because people grow. You know,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
do I feel like I've actually grown better with my communication with her? No, I can be honest with that. No, because
Okay.
it takes work. As we grow older, our characters change and derives into something that maybe might be relatable to the way we've been living and whatnot. But you have to adapt to it. You know, I know that she has changed her way of communicating with me big time.
Hmm.
Likewise with her. And we both just have to adapt to it and change to it. Now, a lot of couples out there, there comes a time where they're just not able to find that common ground anymore. And when that happens, that's where all the shit happens, you know? And it sucks. And so far, I think we're good, you know. I have no qualms in regards to it. I mean, we're doing it's never easy. There's always problems in a relationship. Okay.
Yep.
I can honestly say that in our long term relationship, I can probably count in one hand the big fights that we've had, which is a good thing. That
Yeah.
I'm very proud about because the little arguments here and there, which is not a lot to begin with. I mean, we find a way to talk about it. You know, it's never easy, but you move on from it. If you don't move on to it, that's a different story. You'll never be able to grow off that. Just
Yep.
like when infidelity happens. You know, like
Yeah.
with my previous relationship, that was one of the I thought I was changing because I did cheat on her. I thought I was doing my part in regards to changing for the better. But if the other person never lets it go and is unable to move on
Yeah.
from it, you know,
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, the trust there, she doesn't trust you anymore, so it's really hard to come out of that.
right.
Like
But I mean,
from
up to
my
how long though?
experience.
But then you just move on, then break up. Why stay in a relationship?
Yes, exactly. So, well, I always thought of like giving it another chance because I was hopeful that he would change. But
Right.
then when the guy would do stuff like if I'm sitting beside you and you're on your phone and I sit beside you, I don't even look over and you hide your phone or something. You just like you just feel like why are you doing that? I didn't even like look over. I just sat beside you and then you automatically hide your phone from me.
That's some sketchy
That's
shit.
already right. Like
Yeah.
and then they would say nah, they would say that, oh, it's private.
See,
Like,
I don't get
okay.
that too. In a relationship, yes, you have boundaries and whatnot, but if you're not hiding anything, what's the big deal? Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Why question it?
I'm the
Like
same way.
honest,
Like,
there is that privacy when it comes to your phone and whatnot, right? Does it bother me that my wife do I if you have to question it, then there's a problem. Yeah.
yes, exactly.
I grab my wife's phone, no questions asked. I'll use it. She grabs my
Yeah,
phone, no
yeah,
questions asked. She'll use it. You know, now but all of a
yeah.
sudden you're like, hold on, don't you have your own phone? Why do you have to do that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Have
Yeah. So
you
the
have you done that? Like uh cheated on your partner?
Yeah, when we took a break, that 7-year relationship, we had taken a break in 2012.
Hmm.
So I guess it wasn't really cheating or whatever, because we
Technicality
were on a
issue.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was
Yeah.
the time. But in college,
We
like
were on
early
a break.
college, I think it was 18, 19, that
Yeah.
age.
Huh.
I was like collecting boyfriends and that I wasn't even serious with because like one, they weren't allowed to hold my hand, they weren't allowed to come to my house. It was
What?
like, yeah, I was 18, 19. I just wanted to
What's the point of having
have the attention.
oh, I mean, that's like
Yeah.
I don't get that. Is it still like that in the Philippines when you're courting somebody, it takes like a number of days before you can like hold hands or something? Is it still like that there?
I don't think so. I don't think so. There are some women that I know of that still want it that way. Like I have high school batchmates where they really never had sex before marriage, or that it was a courting thing. Like you really had to go through the whole courting stage, and they were always shy about physical affection or public displays of affection, like
PDAs.
holding hands and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
But don't these people
Um,
realize that that's like a major part of building a relationship?
I don't know. Some people are very, that's the word, traditional, or
Yeah.
like conservative traditional, but
Right.
they still follow it.
Right.
Yeah. It's a melting pot of these different
Yeah.
people here in the
Yeah. I mean,
Philippines.
it's well, to a lot of people, it's like a big subject, you know. It's like a major part of their life and whatnot, but it shouldn't be because it's a necessity to build your proper trust and relationship and the connection,
Yeah.
you know, which comes to fact that yes, you may have that LDR with what's his name again?
Nick.
Nick. Nick,
Hmm.
like Nick. Nick.
Hmm. Yeah.
Nick.
Why?
And then what if the connection is not there when
When we're together.
when you're together? See what I'm saying? Aren't you worried about
Yeah,
that?
of course I am. Of course I am. I'm like, because there's this one guy that I did match on Tinder with in 2019, right before pandemic. Um, and he was coming to the Philippines. We matched in October, and then he was coming to the Philippines in January. But it
Right.
was never anything serious. Like we never talked about marriage or what we want in 5 years and all of that stuff. It
Hmm.
was more of, hookup that he's coming in from New York. So, um,
White guy.
one, yeah, white, no, Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Yeah, Puerto Rican, but American. Well, Puerto Ricans are American. So I don't,
Right.
but yeah. And he arrived in January,
Hmm.
and when like we hit it off, like when we'd call each other and text and stuff. But when he arrived, like the way he would walk annoyed me. The way his movements
The way he
were
walked, really.
annoyed me. Like, yeah, he would walk like hips wouldn't move,
Hmm.
so it would be like a robot kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it annoyed me, and then like the way he kind of like he's very effeminate. He's a 6'2" guy,
Right. Right.
but then he would like he was gay. So it was like I was dating a gay guy.
Right. Right.
And I mean, no, I'm not against any like um gender stereotype or anything, but like I have my types, and I like a guy's guy, or like
Right. Right.
you know, and
The macho looking
everything,
one.
not looking, but like the way you would act, you wouldn't be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. the machismo type of thing.
yeah,
The
yeah,
guy
he's very
the what do you call that? The guy's guy type of thing, you know?
the guy's guy, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. And he looked like he was a guy's guy, but because he was tall and big, but like
Eh?
Yeah, he was very meh.
Yeah.
And then he was into this polyamorous type of relationship.
Ah,
But then he would
Jesus.
tell me that his girlfriend who is in a polyamorous relationship would get jealous of his other women. And it was just like too messy, too dramatic. And it's just like,
Yeah.
meh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. That's just a bit too much. I mean, you got me there with the whole polyamorous type of thing. It's how does even one manage that?
I don't know.
I mean, that's gotta be rough. I mean, how do you so
Right?
I've seen this on TV actually where they have like three wives, right? And
Yeah.
they end up getting married in three different families and whatnot. And how would you manage to handle all of that? Oof, it's a
I
lot of
don't know.
families to feed.
To me, it sounds very cultish,
Right.
right? Like,
Well, plus, do
especially
these
like
women, do all of them sleep with him at once? Is there an understanding, like a group sex thing, or he has to move from house to house type of thing, you know?
the series that I watched a long time ago, the Sister Wives or something,
Yeah, I heard of that.
they'd have different households per wife, one man, but different households,
Right.
different children. So he would have schedule, he would have a schedule or calendar with each one per week or something. Like one wife would have him for a week and then the other wife would have him for another week. And
Right,
it's just
right.
like, what?
That doesn't sound right. I mean, especially with the kids too. Like, how would their kids actually deal with something like that, you know? Oh, dad's with his second wife. Oh no. You
Right.
know.
And then the wives would also have to get along with each other.
Yeah, yeah. Is there something like
Yeah.
that in the Philippines?
No, unless they're Muslim, because I know there's some Muslim men who have multiple wives.
Oh, I didn't know that was allowed in if you're Muslim.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Like in some Arab nations, they can have multiple wives.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, to me that's just too much.
yeah. All right. Well, we've been on for a little bit over an hour now. Um, I think that's it for tonight. I don't know what else to talk about right now. So, to be honest with you, I'm so hungry. I'm so I started going back to the gym, right? So once upon a time, I was a little bit more in shape, where the six pack was going, muscles here and there, yada yada yada. So I got fat. Just got big due to the fact that I used to drink heavily. I used to drink
Mhm.
copious amount of liquor and I mean beer and whatnot. So whatever. And then about a month ago, Noel and I had an agreement that we would like, let's do this 30-day working out challenge, right? So I think I survived for about what, a week and a half, maybe.
Mhm.
And then I
Mhm.
started eating again. Not well,
But I mean,
mainly
eating
I got
eating
lazy.
is good.
Yeah,
Uh,
eating's good.
it's a discipline that you need to focus on because
Yeah,
eating, restricting whatever you need
right,
is kind of disorder. It's a
right.
disorder of the mind. And it's like in actuality, like you can eat as much as you want as long as you burn the amount of
That's the
calories that
hard
you
part.
eat. It's yeah,
It's a cycle.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I started going to the gym again, and honestly, it feels great. It brought back the feeling and the thought where I actually used to love going to the gym, and it's good for my body and it's good for my train of thought. You know,
Hmm.
first two things. One, that's thing. It's a good thing for me. I love it. I'm enjoying it. Two, these people in the fucking gym, man. I mean, it's getting fucking annoying. Where
I know.
first of all, when did it become such a fashion sense type of thing? I mean, for women, it's got to be the tightest of the tightest clothes you can find. And then for guys, constantly flexing in front of a mirror. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
ridiculous.
know.
And then
Um,
three, the
yeah.
last one, I'm constantly sore and in pain.
I know. Well, one, I don't like going to the gym also. One, because I don't like it's a bit far for me to go because there's this gym that I can go to for free, but it's about a 15-minute drive.
50, like 50.
15,
Oh,
one
that's not
five.
bad.
Mm, if it's like heavy traffic, that's bad because it's only 2 kilometers away, but
Right.
then it's 15 minutes because of bad traffic when it should only be like 8 minutes. So
Oh
you're
my
sitting
God.
there in traffic, or people keep cutting you off, or it's just really bad driving. And then
Right.
you get to the gym, and then people stare at you here, and you just feel so uncomfortable. And like, when you already don't know how to use the equipment, so it's like you're already self-conscious about using the equipment, but then there are people staring at you.
So
And
maybe that's why they're staring at you because you look like an idiot using the equipment.
no, I don't know. It's annoying. Or like, because I have a big butt, they're always like looking at my butt, and it's like,
Isn't that a good thing though? Isn't that what
I
most
don't know.
men
It's
want
creepy.
nowadays?
Yeah, but it's so creepy, man. That's creepy. And the way they look at you is creepy. And then and then you have to go back home, and then yes, you're sore. So
Yeah.
what I do now is I don't beat myself up if I don't work out, but I also make sure to at least move my body as much as possible
Right. Right.
every
Right.
day.
Right.
And I think I've accepted the fact that I can't go back to my body when I was in my 20s,
Mm,
because I was one skinny and then also very muscular.
right.
And I started gaining weight when I was 25.
Ah.
And it wasn't even that much of weight, but you know how Filipinos are.
Yeah.
They're always like, "Oh, tumaba ka, tumaba ka." And then you look back at the photos when they told you that you got fat, and you're like, "I wasn't even I wasn't even fat.
Right. Right.
What the hell?" Like, yes, I had gained like 5 pounds from when I was 90 pounds. So I'm like
Hmm.
95, or like now I'm 110. But like, those are still skinny. And then they
Yeah.
still kept telling me that I was fat until
Oh my
now I'm like
God.
actually big.
That's the
And
worst.
they still tell me, like,
Even up to
even
now?
my tatay,
Oh my
even up
God.
to now, my tatay is the one who's the worst one, where he's like, "Oh, you could be prettier if you lost some weight, or
Oh God.
you're ang laki-laki ng braso mo."
Mm,
And it's
mm.
like, thanks. It makes me feel horrible because like it makes me
Thanks,
then
bro.
feel guilty for eating.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if I just eat once a day, I still feel guilty. And that's like a really bad
Yeah.
disorder.
That's bad for your psyche. You
Yeah,
you can
it's
actually get
horrible.
hurt that way.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Anyway, well, thank you for sitting in and filling in for our boy who went. You see that? You see that? Gala gala.
Gala gala.
Yeah.
The
Says
flip side
Noel
with Jay
went.
and Noel, episode 37. Noel went gala gala.
Noel went gala gala. Well, thank you very much.
Alrighty.
I appreciate it. It was fun. I got to know you a lot more, and that was awesome. Um,
Yes.
we will be back on the air El Sabado recording when Noel is back on the loop. Thank you very much. Again, this is the flip side with Jay and Noel. My name is Jay. That's
And
Celeste.
my name is Celeste.
Right. We'll catch you later on the flip side. See ya. Catch us on the next episode on the flip side with Jay and Noel. New episodes uploaded on Wednesdays and Saturdays.